what? Let's record a podcast. Yeah, let's just start off like that. Record a podcast. Talk about how the podcast is gonna be like, and just sort of like touch upon some of the issues that you have. I mean, you're someone who was very overweight, very obese. You started off, I think, 130 kilos, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct.
You started off at 130 kilos. So how's your journey like? You know?
Okay. So I started off, at 130, very like small amount of exercise. Diet wasn't really diet wasn't really good. I'd have unhealthy meals. I'd go take a few side bites here and there, like some snacks. But once I started with you, it's definitely snapped me into shape. Right now I'm very active. Almost every day I'm working out 5-6 times a week, and also now I've started doing more intense weight training, and diet is also start because I have you told me accountable, which helped me a lot.
Good, man. That's very good. Good to hear that. Yeah, it's nice, man. You've done very well. Honestly, in the past 7 months, you've done very, very well. That's why I've still helped you, because you're actually getting results and you're actually getting after it. So I'll help anyone as long as they're actually doing it. So that was the beauty. That's the good thing. And you've been getting really good results. And now you're still getting results, and you're not really dieting.
Yeah, even right now, since we started the diet break, I'm still losing weight. I'm just not as much as I that I was, obviously, but because of more food I'm getting. Also obviously still keeping my activeness high. Still working out almost every day. So it's the food I'm slightly increasing, but it's still good to see I'm losing weight.
Good, yeah, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, like you said, you're on a diet break right now, so you're not really dieting. You're kind of increasing your food a little bit. Yes, you're eating healthy food. You're not eating junk food.
Yeah.
But you're actually increasing your food, and you're still able to get results, and that's partly because of your habits.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to also bear in mind that I only told you to go on a diet break after 7 months of actual intense work. So you have 7 months of a foundation that you built. So now when we sort of start to introduce more food, and we start to introduce more options and more variety, you can handle that. You're not gonna the problem is that, okay, this is a problem I've had, and this is also a problem with many people who start dieting, is that they diet for a while and then they blow it out of the window, right? And then they just, once the diet is done, that's it. Everything's done. They're just back to their normal habits, and they're back to eating shitty food, and they're back to no portion control. But doing this for 7 months, almost a year, when you introduce these concepts, you're still going to get results, because you have this solid foundation. You know when you've gone overboard. You know when, okay, you ate too much of this, or you ate too much of that. Okay, if I need to now keep my intensity level the same. I need to keep my training up to the level that I'm used to, because I've increased my food. And it's because of that you're still getting results. It's essentially because of that, because of all these habits that you spend building throughout these months. The fact that now these habits have become part of your day, you're actually able to divert off the diet a little bit, but still be able to get results. And that's why we introduced it now. We didn't introduce it before. See, that's also another problem that many professionals, many entrepreneurs, which this podcast is mostly for, we're mostly discussing. The theme of this podcast is we're discussing ways in how busy professionals, busy entrepreneurs can get fit and healthy despite their busy work lifestyle. How can they still get results? Because that's one of the main issues. When I ask someone why you're not fit, why you're not healthy, why you're not losing weight. Oh, I'm busy with work. Work is taking up all my time. Family's taking up all my time. That's a very common problem that I hear, with my consultation calls with my clients. So this podcast is mostly going to address these issues. They're going to address these problems, and they're going to address also solutions on how you can do it, and showing you solutions, living solutions. You're one of them. right? You're a busy guy, right?
Yeah, because like even like we're talking about the fact of like working in the way, like even as a student, like especially since this is it was my A level year before exams were cancelled, so I still had my like time which I had to allocate to work as well as like make time for all my fitness, all of my workouts and like keeping my day-to-day life balanced. So I still like faced those like obstacles as well.
Definitely, definitely. I myself faced these obstacles for years as well, by the way. So I know exactly the problems and the struggles, right? You wake up in the morning, and you're going to go through this later on, but it's very similar in university as well. You wake up, you have to go to school, and then after school, you have certain hours you have to be in school. Then after that, you have to go back home, and you have to, do your homework or whatever. It's a similar thing. You wake up, you got to go to work. After work, sometimes you have to take the work back home with you, and then this just makes it way more challenging to eat clean, eat healthy, execute what you have to execute. So, and the issue is not that. The issue is that they're not addressing the problem correctly. Because it's a problem, and it's a problem that everyone goes through. Every person with a job, with a full-time job, any person who works full-time or who has a business or focuses on their career, they're gonna have these problems arise. It's not their choice. So the problem is not that you're facing this. The problem is you're not finding a solution
Yes, that's correct.
to the challenge.
Because like when I started with you, like I found that it's not that I didn't have time, so I didn't know how to allocate my time. And like your programs definitely like helped me like fit the different parts of my day into one without like sort of like crossing each other. So I still have time for studies. I still have time for like a few hours of like my social life, as well as like time for my workouts and going gym, that type of stuff.
Good. Yeah, yeah, of course, man. And it's the beauty also is like when you allocate your time correctly and you execute on everything, your whole day is just better. Your whole
Yes,
day is better.
I felt that as well.
Yeah, your life is just better.
Because you get like feeling of satisfaction when you've done more with your day.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, it's not even about productivity. It's just about feeling good. Like when I wake up and I do my cardio in the morning, as soon as I wake up, I go do my cardio. I just feel so much better throughout the day. It's just feels so much. Whether it's boxing, whether I go on a punching bag, whether I go on an elliptical, whether I go for a long walk or a bike ride, my day is just so much better.
Yeah, like you're starting off like right, or like you're active from the start.
From the start.
So like even if you're keeping like a mental like checklist of it, like that's already your first part of your day just crossed up.
Yeah, but an important part as well.
Yeah,
an important part. Like it's so crazy. Like on the weekends is usually the time I'm most grumpy. Yeah, although it's time off. Yeah, I'm not working. I'm not doing anything. I'm the most grumpy on the weekends because on the weekends usually I don't get to do my morning cardio. Yeah, I wake up and I have to usually spend time with family, or I'm usually out somewhere, or I'm meeting a friend. So and I'm the most grumpy during the weekend on your time off. Yeah, because just I haven't released. It's I mean I'm not into this all energy and all you're like made up of energy. I don't believe in that, but I definitely do believe that through exercise you get rid of all this negative energy.
definitely. Yeah, because like it's more than just like staying active. It's like it's a release.
It's a release.
Especially when you find your one thing you enjoy doing a lot. Like for us in martial arts.
Yeah.
So like us doing that is just like it's a release for us.
Yeah.
So it's not just the activity part of our day.
Yeah, definitely as a release. Everything that's accumulated, all the negative. I mean, some people deal with it with different ways. Some people deal with it with like sitting down with a therapist and talking to a therapist, right? Some people deal with it by meditating. Some people dealing with it by going to a bar and drinking. So there's different ways, but from my experience, the best way to release it is intense training. Yeah, whether it's in the form of martial arts, for us it's martial arts. Yeah, that's our intense training. Or it can be weight training. Gym is also intense. It can be very intense. Or it can be cardio, whatever. Whatever it is, but just getting your body to move just releases all that tension, releases all this bullshit tension. So you can imagine when you wake up in the day, and the first thing you do is you release all this tension. That's it. You already started the day with just feeling good, feeling relaxed, feeling chill. You know, you're a lot more focused on you're a lot more focused on the important things in your day, which is your work, probably, you know, your studies if you're a student, or your family if you're a caretaker, or if you're a mother or a father taking care of your family and kids. You know, so it's just I don't see why people don't do it. You know, like I get people so, oh, I just don't like to exercise. What do you mean you don't like that? You don't like to feel good? That's how it sounds like to me. You don't like to feel good? Yeah, you don't like to, it's like this, yeah. You know, someone gives you an option. He tells you, look, if you do this and this and this, you're gonna make 20,000 pounds a month. Yeah, you just have to do this and this and this. And you say, oh no, not really. You know, I don't really like making 20,000 pounds a month. What do you mean you don't like it? You're broke. You're like, if you're broke, you know, I'm not saying if you're rich. If you're broke, and someone tells you do this, 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 and that, and you get 20,000 pounds a month, yeah, consistently, are you gonna do it? Any stupid guy would say yes. Yeah, you don't even have to be intelligent. Well, it's the same thing with exercise. Yeah, you want to feel good about yourself. You want to feel good about you know, mentally. You want to feel good. You want to feel good about your body. You want to improve yourself. Exercise, just like you don't have, it's nothing crazy. You know, just go and do something. Go for a run. You know.
Yeah, like literally, like just going back to the point that I made earlier, it's just about finding what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
One person's thing, maybe like you finding that right thing for you is gonna make just like your whole life better.
Your whole life better.
Starting your days off right, just like gives you like a brand new like a great energy boost to your day. Like it's like those things like they add up to like having a better life.
Yes, so true. Like I'll bet if exercise was a drug, everyone would take it. People would be don't you think?
Yeah.
If it was a drug, if it wasn't a pill.
Mm.
And by the way, it was a pill, like Glaxo, this huge GSK, huge pharmaceutical company. I think in the 90s, in the late 90s, I think 1970 or 1975, they created this drug called Cardarine, yeah, and it was advertised as exercise drug, yeah, and they were selling it. It was you could buy it, you go to the pharmacy and buy it. Don't ask me how I know. I just know. Yeah. Well, this is out there. You can find this. All this information is out there. So this drug, apparently, if you take it, it would give you the high that you get from exercising. So when you take it, you just want to exercise. You feel a lot more active. You feel like you have a lot of energy, and you just gives you that. You know, you kind of get the feeling. You get the exercise high. Although I don't like to call it a high, but that's what people think of it. The endorphin high. You get the endorphin high before you exercise. So they thought if you take that, all people would want to exercise, and they found yes, people start exercising more when they start taking this drug. Yeah. But then eventually they took it out of the market because they found links to cancer from taking the drug. But it was one of their best selling drugs. One of the best selling drugs. Like, you know, I think paracetamol was number one. And then that one was very close to it at the time when it first came out. Yeah, yeah, like it was, people were just buying it nonstop. They loved it. Yeah, and so that's proof that people love that feeling. Yeah, but they want the easy way. Yeah, they want the drug. Well, look, man, 30 minutes a day, you get that feeling. Honestly, 30 minutes a day. Now, I don't want to say just to the right intensity because you can just mindlessly run without thinking and without even getting into it. You're not going to get it. You have to get into a state of intensity to be able to induce this feeling of getting a sort of high. It's not a high. You just feel relaxed and things like that. But if you know, okay, if I do this, I'm going to get this in return. I don't understand why you wouldn't do it. Now, I know it's difficult for many people to comprehend that because they've never felt it yet. This is also another problem that I get. Is, oh, exercise is just painful, suffering. Yeah. Believe it or not, it's this suffering that makes it feel so good.
Like, um, like before, all the gym shut, would like shut down. I used to go to my academy and have like multi academy. Train like, very intensive. So like you can imagine going an hour and a half straight, just like relentlessly, and just like going at it, like all that intensity just like vanishes once you're done. Because like after you're done, your like full workout, like you just feel amazing.
Mm. Yeah, you feel great. You feel great. Honestly, it's one of the best feelings. One of the best feelings you can get. Of course, being successful, achieving something great, is something that can really, sort of give you that great sense of accomplishments within. But exercise gives you the same thing. That intense level of exercise. Now, also when we say intense relative to you, because intensity to me now is different to intensity a year ago, for example, or 2 years ago. When I first started working out and doing martial arts, I would get tired in 30 minutes. To me, that was the most intense I could go. Now, of course, I can do a lot more. So, and when we say intensity, I don't mean like you have to go and just kill yourself.
Yeah,
But you'll have to go at a certain intensity that is relative to your ability. When we did a workout the other day with the weights, for you, I'm sure that was very intense. I mean, of course, for many people, what you were doing is a warm up. That's the reality.
yeah.
Well,
and I know that as well.
Yeah.
Like, people work at different stages.
Exactly.
You just need to work your way up.
Exactly. Exactly. But regardless, for you, it was very intense.
Yes.
And you felt that intensity, and you felt good after that, and that's what matters. That's what really matters. It doesn't matter that what you did was someone else's warm up, because eventually you're going to get it, and eventually you're going to be at a stage where you have to do a lot more to get that intensity, to achieve this intensity, the right amount of intensity. So, you shouldn't feel scared from the word intensity, because usually people associated with like something that, intensity, that's I really got to kill myself and I have to like suffer. No. You just have to do it enough. Yeah. I was talking to someone the other day. I was on a call with him, and I was on a consultation call with him, and his concern was like, look, man, I've been going to the 2 months now, and my scale weight is not moving. I've just been stuck. And I tried to increase my cardio. I increased my cardio. This dude was doing crazy amount of work, honestly. He was doing almost more than me. Almost. More work, his work capacity was more than what I was doing. Look, man, I'm doing like 25, 30 sets in the gym. That's crazy. He was telling me, man, I eat like, I practically just eat chicken salad. Like I'm doing all these, like he was doing insane stuff. And he did not look fit. And he looked good. I mean, but he did not look like he was very fit. And he was like, man, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know why nothing is changing. I don't know why I'm not moving. I'm not getting consistent results. And then on the weekend, I just blow it sometimes and I just go back to my old ways. And that's exactly his problem. He was doing too much. That's also another problem. That's also a problem. You see, the problem is one each end of the spectrum. You're either not doing anything and you're eating cheesecake and you're drinking every single day, or you're just doing way too much. That's also bad.
Yes, because like you told me like also a few times, like most of the people that you like talk to, they start off like sprinting their way throughout their journey. Exactly. Like as you told me as well, like you can't maintain that for over a long period of time.
Definitely, yeah. That is another problem, is that people think, oh, I need to increase it intensity every single time. I gotta go harder. I gotta do more. But it's not about doing more. It's about doing enough. That's what it's all about. It's about doing enough, especially when you're in the gym, especially if you're training, weight training specifically. You have to do enough. It's not about doing more. It's not about doing less. For martial arts, it's a little bit different, because martial arts are only techniques. So you can do techniques for 2 hours. You're just practicing the move. You're just practicing the technique. That's fine. The more you practice the move, the better. Right? The more it's going to get engraved in your head, and you're going to create these neurological pathways to execute it correctly. But in the gym, it's not about doing more. Or things related to weight loss. It's not about doing more. It's about doing enough. Once you do that enough, you get consistent results. And if you do that long enough, that's what it's all about. It's not about, okay, here's the mentality that people have, which is, okay, I simply go hard these 3 days, and then 2 days I'll take a day off. I'll take completely off, and then by going hard these 3 days, I'm gonna lose a lot of weight. No, that's not how it works. Weight loss is not like that. Weight loss is accumulated work over a long period of time. That's all it is. The reason why you're able now to lose weight, despite being on a diet break, despite having essentially more calories than me, sort of close to more than I would say you're probably at a maintenance right now. You're not on a deficit, you're on a maintenance. But yeah, you're still losing weight. The reason why you're still losing weight despite being on the maintenance, which technically speaking you shouldn't, is because you've been dieting for such a long period of time, consistently over the long run, haven't been cheating on your diet, haven't been following the diet, and then it's just accumulated. These accumulated work has just been adding up, That's what it is. It's just the fact that you've been consistently following this over a long period of time, to the point now where you can still be on maintenance and still get results because of all the wins, let's say, because of to simplify it, because of all the wins that you've had, all the previous work that you've put in has allowed you right now to sort of get back, consistently get the results. So it's like sort of an investment. Yeah, so when you invest in something and you start getting returns every month, and then over the long period of time, you may not still be investing in this company, but you're still getting returns and you're still getting dividends because you've been investing in it for such a long period of time. Similar sort of thing. Because you've been investing in your weight loss over a long period of time consistently, you're still reaping the benefits and still reaping the results even in the long term. And that's what weight loss is all about. Especially if you're busy, especially if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of time, especially if you're someone who has so many commitments, you cannot blow it, you cannot sprint. Yeah, it's not smart. You sprint only for a short period of time. I'll give you an example, a very interesting example that Faraz Sahabi talks about. I listen to this guy a lot. Faraz Sahabi is head coach of TriStar Gym in Canada. He's the coach of George St. Pierre. He's the head coach for Rory McDonald. He's the head coach for a lot of big fighters. And he says he believes, he was like, look, the only time we train hard is during camp. So the only time the fighter trains really hard is during camp. So when he's preparing for a fight, just 3 months you train really intense because you have this fight that's coming up, so you got to train. But he said all year round, these guys are not training. All year round, these guys are just, they're training light, they're flow training, they're relaxed. They don't go to the gym and kill themselves. They don't do that. They go to the gym, try to feel good. They work at about maybe 60, 70% of their maximum, then they stop. And they come back again tomorrow and they do the same thing. And this accumulation, and he said, compare this person who's training every single day, but at 60, 70% of his maximum, against someone who's training maybe five times a week, but he's killing himself. Like he's going out there, he's sparring, he's beating people up, he's like blowing himself up. Yeah. At the end of the year, this guy who's been training every day has had so many more training sessions than the guy who's just training 5 times a week, 4 times a week, because he cannot train more than that. He's going too intense. The guy who's trained more is the more skilled fighter. Yeah, it's the same thing sort of in weight. It's not about sprinting and killing yourself. The analogy still holds. It's not about how hard you can go. It's about how long you can do it while staying sane. Yeah, because dieting can also affect you, psychologically. It doesn't just affect you physically. It can also affect you psychologically. You're limiting yourself, right, from food, and this can sometimes affect you even like physiologically. Affect you. Like your hunger signals, and it can affect even you may lose hair sometimes. This happens to me as well. Sometimes your libido can get affected. That tends to happen if you diet for a really long time and you're on a hard diet, like you're sprinting. So it's very, very important that to sustain that you don't go hard. You go at about 6 to 7%. You do that every single day. And when you get to a point where you've dieted enough for a while, you can take a break. You take that break, and your body hormones, levels, they recover, they get back to normal, and you're still losing weight. You're still losing weight. Once you're recovered and once your hormone levels are balanced, and you're still getting results while that, then you continue the diet, and you're still normal, and you still feel great, and you're still losing weight, and you're still healthy, and you're still improving, And that's what it's all about. That's the way to actually do it, to be able to sustainably do it and get results instead of the conventional, 8 week shredding program, which by the way, they work. Yeah, they work, like 12-week, diet programs. I mean, I myself, I can testify they work. Yeah, I've given a lot of clients 12-week shredding programs, 8-week shredding programs, and they work. They get results, but they don't get results for the long term. They get results and then they fade. So it's very, very important that you look at weight loss as an investment, something that you do bit by bit, slowly, and then eventually you get the desired result that you want. And that's that.